Hi, everyone. Let's play a little game. It's called Fill in the Blank and Find the Watchtower Quote. These men claim to be God's sole visible organization on earth. It should be relatively easy. I've shortened it down to 4 questions. Feel free to use the pause feature, and I'll see you on the other side. How'd you do? Did the Watchtower quotes just jump right out at you? Was it easy to distinguish the Watchtower from the other quotes? This is the Dark Ages, back when the church controlled everything. They controlled the people. The only way to get to God was through them. The only way to please God was to please them. You had to obey them. You had to work for them. You had to assist them. You went through the church to get God. They even kept the Bible to themselves. The Bible was not for you. The Bible was an organizational book for them. And they would interpret it for you and decipher it for you. Because no matter how hard you tried, you couldn't understand it without them. And what happened when people would read the Bible and find out that the Bible taught contrary to the church? They were put to death. Heretics. The Watchtower does exactly the same thing. Actually, they take it one further. The Watchtower declares that the Bible is an organizational book, not for you. They will decipher it for you. They will tell you what it says. They take it one further, that the New Testament doesn't even pertain to you. That the New Testament, the New Covenant, you're no part of that. That's only for them. So they take it even further. And what happens as a witness? If you read the Bible and find out it contradicts the Watchtower, you're put to death. Apostasy. They disfellowship you. They would even kill you in person if they could. I have no doubt about that. They have replaced Jesus with themselves. They are your mediator. You have to go through them to get to Jehovah. You have to obey them to please God. You have to serve them, assist them. That's the only way. They have twisted the scriptures 900 ways to Sunday to work in their favor. They have had absolute power and they're completely corrupt. They're no longer even teaching really Jesus and Jehovah anymore. It's all about them. You must serve them to get to God and Jesus. Listen to the baptismal talk from the Special Assembly. I'm only going to put a little part of it. I will put the link below if you want to hear the entire talk. But you will see it's all about service, obedience, and begging these men in order to gain salvation. Talk to you on the other side.
Then the king will say to those on his right, "Come, you who have been blessed by my Father. Inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the founding of the world." So there we see that this invitation has been extended to the sheep who are judged worthy to live in the earthly realm of God's kingdom. Now, why do these sheep have the Father's blessing? For 4 distinct reasons. 1, they actively assist Christ's anointed brothers. 2, They are conscious of their spiritual need. 3, they maintain fine Christian conduct. And 4, they endure when persecuted. But now, how do you do those 4 things to get our Father's blessing? Well, as was noted, the first one is that we need to continue to assist Christ's brothers, the anointed. Jesus told us that it is possible to do good to them. But how? Well, let's open our Bibles again to Matthew chapter 25 and notice verse 40. And in reply, the king will say to them, "Truly I say to you, to the extent that you did it to one of the least of these my brothers, you did it to me." And so by extension of doing these things for the anointed, Jesus' brothers, we're actually doing it for him.
So these men are your leaders. They've kicked Jesus and Jehovah out. They're now your leaders. Oh yeah, they use his name, they use Jesus' name, but they're side players now. You have to go through them. You have to obey them. You have to assist them. You have to beg for the little spiritual scraps that they're willing to give you. You have to be completely dependent on them, just like a suckling baby. And they're getting bolder about it. When I heard that talk, I didn't know if it was because I was listening to it with different ears or if that's what they've always taught. And so I asked on the boards, and they're like, yeah, it's increasing. So they're getting bold about it. But it's not like they worry about it or anything. I mean, you've been buying their crap for years. I was a child of 1975. I know personally how that was built up. 1976, well, you guys just expected too much. Oh, yeah, it's all our fault. The UN involvement, they give you some lame excuse and you're like, yeah, okay. They fornicated with the wild beast and you guys are okay with that. They've been dishing out crap for years and you guys just keep blindly swallowing it. That gives them power. Power corrupts. Well, they're going to take this crap. We might as well just take the role as leader, full force. And if they have a problem with it, we'll just disfellowship them. No biggie. Jesus was very clear. Do not follow men. Do not follow men, period. It doesn't say don't follow men unless. Or don't follow men unless they claim to be speaking for me. Or don't follow men unless they claim to have good intentions. Don't follow men unless. Do not follow men, period. The end. And there was a reason, because men corrupt. He gave other warnings as well, as far as false prophecies. Do not go after those who say, there I am, or there he is. Watchtower says 1914, there he is. Do not follow men who say that the due time is approached. Any day now. This is no different than the Dark Ages. They have the people, in the Dark Ages, people are completely dependent on the church for everything. The witnesses are completely dependent on these men for everything. And you'll buy whatever crap they tell you. But they use Jehovah. So do other religions. But they preach. So do other religions. The Bible is very clear about not using your works for boasting. Well, that's the number one thing Jehovah's Witnesses do. They boast. We go door to door. They boast about it. Other religions preach as well. They just don't boast about it. That's not their claim to fame. Doesn't mean they're not doing it. They're just following the scriptures. By their fruits, you will recognize them. It doesn't say by their teachings. By their fruits, you will recognize them. Let's look at some of the fruits. False prophecies, pedophilia scandals, financial scandals, Lies, cover-ups, manipulations. What kind of fruits are these? By their fruits you will recognize them. They've kicked Jesus out and taken place as your leader. They are your mediator. They are your salvation. They are your Jesus. What does the Bible say about that? It's pretty clear what it says about that. And they're getting bolder. They're just getting brazen, and they're getting more controlling. They're using the Armageddon fear tactic on you, going, well, we're getting closer to Armageddon, so therefore we have to be more controlling. That's their excuse. But they're just doing it to be more controlling. Examine the scriptures for yourself. Set aside the Watchtower publications and examine the scriptures for yourself. Even if you're not ready to set aside the publications, look at the scriptures they are using and read them in context, and you will see for yourself how they're warping everything. They're getting in your face blatant about it because they know you guys are gullible. You'll just keep eating whatever they say. How is this different than Jim Jones in the People's Temple? He started teaching God. Then he started, at the end, it was, you had to go through him. He was your God now. David Koresh, the Moonies, the Mormons. How is this any different with any other religion that has replaced God and Jesus with themselves? It's not. These men they're false Christs. They are your Jesus. They are your salvation. They are your mediator. This organization has started taking on cult-like personalities really heavy since the early 80s. And it's like they're kicking it up a notch now. And I even had to ask, because when I heard that baptismal talk specifically, I was like, has it always been like this, or is this new? Is it more in your face? And I put it on a message board, and everybody's going, no, yeah, they're kicking it up a notch. It's always been kind of they've been in control, but they're really kind of in your face now going, yeah, you need to obey us. We are your salvation. What you do for us is how you please Jehovah. Wake up. Wake up. Question them. They are just men. Question them. Question what they're saying. Don't just blindly and gullibly follow it like a fish that's been hooked. Question them. Examine for yourself. We're not trying to take you away from God. We're not trying to take you away from Jehovah. We're trying to take you away from these dangerous men who have become your Jesus. That's all we're trying to do. Just question. Read the scriptures. Look up some of this stuff. That's all I can say. Talk to you later. Bye.